And I want you to take me back to this article that you come across in the New York Times about a formerly enslaved man who taught the Jack Daniel how to make the whiskey we all know today.
The fact that he made sure that this African-American man was not only to his right, but he absolutely seated the center position of the photo to the black man. Black men weren't even included in photos like this. To me, that just said, you will not forget who my mentor was. So that statement, and then the headline of the newspaper article was Jack Daniel's embraces a secret ingredient, help from a slave.
And you decide, I want to go to Lynchburg.
I showed up in Lynchburg, Tennessee. We arrived and everything just began to reveal itself.
You meet family members of Jack Daniel and they lead you eventually to this actual farm.
By the next day, we were walking the grounds where distillery number 7 stood, where Nears Green was the only known master distiller of distillery number 7, and where Jack Daniel grew up. And it was a no-brainer for us. We put in an offer immediately. The idea of being able to not only walk the grounds as often as I wanted to as I was writing the story and doing the research, but also being able to bring all that research into that home and asking the community to help me.
You end up starting a business, building a brand, and within 5 years, it's the fastest growing independent premium whiskey in US history. It's winning all the awards.
Every single bar that I would walk into, I would always start off by tasting it. So they would taste it and they'd go, this is incredible. And then I would ask them that question. I would talk to the general manager, the beverage director, and I'd say, tell me what bottle of whiskey you have on your back bar that is not founded by, owned by, talked about by a white man. Like any of them. And they would look around and it was the biggest aha moment for them.
Originally, you thought maybe a book, perhaps a movie, but then you had a change of heart as you talked more and more with family members of Nears Green.
I had concluded that this story between Nears Green and Jack Daniel was truly a story of love, honor, and respect. What became clear is that the reason why we're still talking about Johnny Walker and Jack Daniel and Jim Beam to this day is because we're looking at their name on bottles everywhere we go. Once I learned that it wasn't just that Nears was Jack's teacher, but he was actually the first known African-American master distiller. And his legacy of excellence was such that it continued generationally. That is a story of a person that I knew needed to be cemented.